Welcome. We are going to talk about hub hacks and what we went over in session 2 today. Session 2 is all about rubrics. And did you know that in the hub you can create rubrics? Those rubrics can be associated with assignments. So when a student is looking at an upcoming project, they can immediately see the instructions. They can see the rubric of how they're going to be graded. As a teacher, you click on the different boxes. It does the calculation for you. You can add in comments. Everything is housed right there. The super cool thing about rubrics is once you create it, yes, you can still edit it, but you can also have it year to year. So as I'm kind of talking about rubrics, and I'm going to show you, like I did in the session live, how to create a rubric, this is kind of that landing page when you get to your rubric creation. You're going to name it. You have a couple of different ways that you can evaluate it. You can do straight up points, or you can do a range of points. So a lot of people on projects, they want to say excellent is anywhere from 10 to 15 points. So that way it's not just a guaranteed 15. I can give somebody 13 points if I wanted to. Now, comment options or comment only would be really beneficial for AP teachers who have an AP rubric and they want the students to be able to see how they would score on an AP style rubric, but not have points actually associated. So a student could submit an assignment. The teacher could grade it based on the AP rubric. They would see the comments, all done. The other cool thing about rubrics is you can share it. So if you are an English Language Arts department and you want to have a common rubric that you're grading research papers on, you could have a research paper rubric and you could share it to your department, and anybody in that department would be able to access that rubric and use it. Science teachers, if you want to have a lab write-up rubric and how lab reports are supposed to look, same exact thing. But now also sometimes there's differentiation where 6th grade writing or 6th grade lab reports might look a little different. So you could associate it to a grade level as well. And then any teacher, whether it's language arts, science, social studies, if they're doing any type of writing, they can use a 6th grade writing rubric for grading purposes. So that way across the board, everybody knows, hey, this is how we grade 6th grade on writing. This is how we grade 7th grade on writing. Or this is as a department what we look for in lab write-ups. That type of thing. All right, so again, this is you invest your time on the front end to create the rubric. I personally would recommend hop over to Gemini. Gemini is great at creating rubrics, and then you can copy and paste and tweak to make the rubric your own. Create the rubric, then you can go ahead and use it. So I'm going to hop over to the hub. When you're on your landing page with schedule and performance, if you move 2 tabs over on this sub bar here, you're going to see rubrics. Now, I used rubrics a lot when I was doing my home ec J-term class. So you'll see I have financial foundations, kitchen essentials, but I've played around as well. All I need to do is create a new rubric by clicking the plus sign. I will give it a name. I'm going to say demo. This is where I can determine, do I want to do each proficiency level to have a specific point value, or do I want a range? And so let me show you what that's going to look like. Let's just pretend this is excellent, this one is good, this is satisfactory, and this one is needs improvement. I can add extra levels if I want to. I can add in my descriptions. So I'm going to say description. Woohoo! If I'm doing straight points, I want all of my categories to equal a 100 because most of us are doing a 100-point scale. So I'm going to say this is 25. This might be 20, 15, and 10. Okay, so, and this skill is going to be creativity on the project. Okay, it has created that, I can add another skill. And actually, I'm going to need to add 3 more skills. So if someone got excellent all the way through, they would have a 100. But what if I want to be able to say, okay, it's excellent, but it's not quite 25 points. Well, I want to switch it to a point range. Okay, and so it says, hey, you didn't have that before. Well, I want to say, now instead of just a flat 25 points, I want this to be 20 to 25 points. I want this one to be 15 to 20. I want this one to be 10 to 15. And this one I want to be 5 to 10. All right, now when I go to grade this, the system is going to say, hey, if you're scoring them good, but you want to give them 23 points, that's really excellent. Okay, so it allows you some flexibility to go ahead and, as good, say, you know what, it's good. It is definitely 20 points. Or it's good, but it is borderline unsatisfactory good. I'm going to give you a good, and I'm going to give you 15, maybe 16 points, okay, because you're right on that cusp. So that's point range. Now I can do comments only. And comments only means that the point value is actually gone. And so when I do comments only, this is a really good way of grading somebody on like an AP rubric or showing them where they fall, where you don't need to assign a point value to it. So it could be a rough draft. Okay, on your rough draft, let me show you where you would fall if I was taking this for a grade. And then they can actually go ahead and build from there. So I really like the comment only for AP grading, and if you were doing like a rough draft, for them to be able to see how they would fall on an actual grading rubric. Okay, so I'm going to go back to points, okay, where I had my 20, 15, 10, 5. I'm going to be done editing the creativity skill, but I can add another skill. And so this is going to be writing mechanics. It keeps my excellent, good, satisfactory, needs improvement. It also keeps the same point values, but I can change it because sometimes the creativity, I might give them more than 20, 15, 10, and 5. And maybe the writing is more important. So I can still edit this, but I'm going to say, no, I want all of my categories to weigh the same. All right, so now I have creativity, I have writing mechanics, I can add another one. Okay, so let me say on this one, I have writing mechanics, so I'm gonna say MLA formatting. Okay, all right, so now I have creativity, writing mechanics, MLA formatting. I'm gonna save this. Technically, I want to get this up to 100 points, but obviously on your own project, you would do that. All I have to do is hit save to my rubrics. I'm going to refresh this page, and then you're going to see that my demo rubric has been created right here. I can print it if I want to, okay, and I can see exactly what it's going to look like. I can edit it as well if I need to. Now it's time for me to actually create an assignment with this rubric in there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hop to a class. Now I don't have classes, so bear with me as I quickly hop to basket weaving. So when I'm in my assignment center and I create an assignment, I just created one on financial foundations, okay. I'm going to edit this. All right, so now I want the rubric that I created to associate to an assignment. So same steps that we use every single week when we're doing our assignment. I create my title. I put in my instructions, my description. Now this is, because it's a project, this is where I put my project descriptions. It's a major assessment. I'm adding it to the grade book. But now I'm checking this box that says associate a rubric. And when I do that, it's going to pull up all the rubrics that I've created. Well, this was one that I had already done, so Financial Foundations Project Rubric. It's automatically going to put in the point value that's tied to this rubric. Then I keep on going. I want them to turn it in into the hub, so that way I can go ahead and grade it based on that rubric. I set my assigned due dates, always publish now, and I hit save. Now let's look at this from a student perspective. Okay, I put my daughter into the class. So when she comes in, she sees that she has a project. She sees all of the instructions on the project. She sees where she can upload her project, but then she has an evaluation button that says see rubric. And when she clicks on it, she can see the actual rubric that she's going to be graded on and how many points she will get under each category. And so she would just upload her project file right there, submit it, and then as a teacher, I can go ahead and grade it based on that rubric. So let me hop back over to show you. So we have some teachers that are using rubrics. I'm going to highlight Samantha Ashworth because I just worked with her, and she was doing a STEM project for A Wrinkle in Time. So she created her own rubric where the STEM project actually was like 40 points of the grade. It was the more heftier portion, but then there was a writing component, and so she wanted to grade on MLA formatting, citations, and grammar, as well as content. So content you can't quite see here. Just the screenshot wouldn't allow me to get that extra category in. So she created her rubric, and then when it came time for grading, she would click on a student, and then she would be able to say, okay, on the STEM project, they got 40 points. On MLA formatting, they got good. They got 12 points. And she was able to add in a comment of make sure everything is in 12 points Times New Roman. She was able to go into citations. That was satisfactory. Grammar needed some improvement, but the content was excellent. This system automatically added up 40, 12, 9, 6, 15, put in the grade. She committed it, done. So now the student sees their feedback in a very similar format. The only difference for a student is they can't edit the comment field. So they see STEM project 40 points, MLA formatting 12 points. So again, huge thing that you can do right within the hub. It's reusable year to year. So I just really highly encourage you to go ahead and check out doing rubrics in the hub.